Hello students, myself Professor Ankur. Today we are going to discuss an important topic by the name diode parameters from analog circuits gate theory session. So let's start with this. So there are two important parameters of diode with respect to resistance, that is static resistance and dynamic resistance. So first of all, the main thing we need to understand here is whenever diode is forward bias, under forward bias, we have a voltage and a current existing for a diode. Implies we will have a resistance of the diode. So that resistance will be defined as internal resistance for particular current. So let's check what do you mean by static resistance. It is defined as a resistance offered by a diode under forward bias whenever a diode is connected to a DC potential. Means whenever we take a diode and connect it with a battery under forward bias condition, you get a particular current and a particular voltage. So as seen in the graph, you can see a particular operating point with respect to one value of current and one value of voltage. So once we take a ratio of it, it will be defined as static resistance. The next is dynamic resistance of the diode. So what do you mean by dynamic resistance? We have seen a behavior of a diode for DC signal. On similar lines, we can get a behavior of a diode for AC. Implies whenever a AC source is connected to a diode and a diode is under forward bias condition, it will face variation of current and variation of voltage. So the variation of voltage can be measured as a change in voltage and a variation of current can be measured as change in current. When you take a ratio of that, the resistance that you get is defined as dynamic resistance. Normally, when you find the resistance of a diode, you will get the value as R, which will be defined as Vt by IdQ, where Vt is defined as thermal voltage of the. Next is equivalent model of the diode. When you look at the equivalent model, you can clearly observe that there is a closed switch behavior under forward bias, as well as a potential defined as Vd and a resistance in series. So what does this signify to us? It signifies that a diode under forward bias will work like a closed switch, will retain a drop of 0.7 across it, and the internal resistance will be represented by Rf. So in this session, we have seen two important parameters of diode, that is static and dynamic resistance, along with the equivalent model of the diode. Thank you.